Stop rubbing your hip. Stop stretching your hip flexor. Stop foam rolling your IT band. You're working on the wrong body part. And that's exactly why your hip pain keeps coming back, over and over again, no matter what you try. Here's the truth that physical therapists and orthopedic doctors have known for decades, but rarely explain properly. In 80% of cases, hip pain doesn't actually originate in your hip joint. It's coming from somewhere else entirely. And in the next 12 minutes, I'm going to show you exactly where it's really coming from, and more importantly, how to fix it permanently. I've worked with hundreds of people who've suffered with hip pain for months, even years. They've tried cortisone shots, physical therapy, expensive massage sessions, and nothing worked long-term. Within minutes of addressing the real source, their pain dropped by 50% or more. By the end of this video, you're going to do 3 simple movements with me. Right here, right now. You don't need any equipment. You don't need to get on the floor if you can't. And I promise you, if you do them correctly, you will feel a difference before this video ends. But if you keep treating your hip when the problem is somewhere else, you're wasting time, money, and potentially making the issue worse. You could end up with chronic compensation patterns, muscle imbalances, and eventually, real structural damage to your hip joint. So here's what I need you to do. Forget everything you think you know about hip pain. Open your mind for the next 12 minutes, and let me show you something that's going to change how you understand your body forever. If this video helps you finally get relief from hip pain that's been haunting you, hit that like button and subscribe to Healthy Nest. We're here to give you real solutions, not temporary band-aids. Now, let's start with the most common hidden source of hip pain, and this one shocks people every single time. The number one source of hip pain that isn't actually hip pain? Your lower back, specifically your lumbar spine at the L4, L5, and S1 levels. Let me explain how this works. Your spine is a stack of bones called vertebrae. Between each vertebra, nerves exit on both sides and travel down into your legs. These nerves carry sensation and motor control to your hips, thighs, and all the way down to your feet. Now, when something compresses or irritates these nerves, a herniated disc, a bulging disc, bone spurs, or even tight muscles, your brain receives a pain signal. But here's the tricky part. Your brain doesn't always interpret that signal accurately. It feels the pain in your hip, buttock, or outer thigh, even though the real problem is in your lower back. This is called referred pain or radicular pain. Let's test this right now. I want you to do something with me. Stand up if you can. Place your hand on your hip where it hurts. Now slowly bend forward at your waist like you're trying to touch your toes. You don't have to go far, just a gentle forward bend. Does your hip pain get worse? Does it shoot down your leg? Does it create a pulling or tingling sensation? Now stand back up and gently arch backward, hands on your lower back for support. Does the pain change? Does it improve or worsen? If bending forward or backward changes your hip pain significantly, that's a huge clue. The pain is being driven by your spine, not your hip joint. This is why hip stretches don't work for you. This is why strengthening your glutes hasn't helped. You've been treating the area that hurts instead of the area that's causing the hurt. Now that's source number 1, but there's a second hidden source that's even more common, especially in people who sit for long hours every single day, and it's creating a chain reaction throughout your entire body. The second hidden source is a muscle you've probably never heard of. It's called the psoas, pronounced Psoas. This muscle is buried deep inside your core. It attaches to your lower spine, runs through your pelvis, and connects to the top of your thigh bone, your femur. It's one of the most powerful hip flexors in your body. Here's the problem. When you sit for hours every day at a desk, in a car, on a couch, your psoas stays in a shortened position. Over time, it adapts to that length. It gets tight, stiff, and locked short. Then, when you stand up and try to walk, your psoas can't lengthen properly. It pulls on your lower back and yanks on your hip joint. That creates a deep, achy pain in the front of your hip, your groin, or deep in your buttock. Most people think it's their hip joint degenerating, but it's just a tight psoas screaming for release. Let's test your psoas right now. Lie down on your bed or a couch. Hang one leg off the edge so your knee drops toward the floor. Keep your other leg bent with your foot flat on the surface. Does your hanging leg stay elevated? Does your knee refuse to drop down? Does it feel tight or uncomfortable in the front of your hip? If yes, your psoas is tight, and it's very likely contributing to your hip pain. Now here's where people make a massive mistake. They try to stretch their hip flexor by doing a lunge stretch. But if you stretch a tight psoas without first releasing the tension, you can actually make it grip harder. It's a protective response. You need to release it first, then strengthen it in a lengthened position. I'll show you exactly how to do that in just a moment. All right, 2 hidden sources down. Now the third one is the most overlooked, and it's the reason your hip pain gets worse when you walk, climb stairs, or stand on one leg. The third hidden